Today, the theme of our sermon is My Light Must Shine. Somebody say, My light must shine. My light must shine. This Sunday, the gospel is a continuation of what we had last Sunday, which is what we call the Sermon on the Mount, given by Jesus. And last Sunday, gospel reading, we're hearing about the beatitude. Otherwise, we call it beatitude, but I call it beatitude. The attitude as a Christian you should be, you should have, you should possess. Today, Jesus continues in the beatitude but in a different dimension, and which is two elements he uses in the gospel reading. And these two elements form the content of our sermon this morning. The two elements are salt and I want to be sure you heard the gospel reading. In the first dimension, Jesus says, you are the salt of the earth. In the second dimension, he says, you are the light of the world. So we're going to begin with the salt. There are three, among many uses of salt. There are three very important uses of salt. I remember salt. Remember when we were having our extension as a Nigerian, minus Nigerians. When one of us not eat certain cooked food and the young man did not test it very well, and that food was very, very salty. But you know the interesting thing, he said that food is even the sweetest because he's the one that prepared it. But I tell you solemnly, that was a very salty food. And it goes to say that when the salt becomes too much, it loses its value. But when it is put in moderation, it serves the purpose. There are three elements or usages I give for salt. Number one is salt as a preservative. Number two is salt as seasoning or added flavor. And number three is salt as a purifying agent. Use it to purify. So I'm going to begin with the first, which is salt as a preservative. How does it work as a preservative? It works when you rub it on the surface of meat or something you want to preserve. It goes inside and preserves it. If you put it in good proportion and then you expose it to sunlight, the salt preserves the meat even inside to outside, and it becomes good and it will not go good. How do we as Christians serve as preservative? And this is how we serve as preservative: by permeating into society and using our privilege to preserve those that are less privileged. I'm going to explain this. And the image we have is the image of Esther, Queen Esther. This is the image we have to reflect upon. Even Esther in the Persian court. When Esther was made a queen, suddenly a problem arose, and the people of Israel were being haunted. Then Mordecai went down to her and said to her in Esther chapter 4 verse 14, Mordecai said to the queen, who knows, maybe it was for a time like this that you have been made queen. I want you to know something. If you when you are fighting for somebody's cause, you are only preserving yourself for tomorrow. Don't say it was not concern. I think it was not people that sang the song. You say it's none of your business until the man with a long coat appear before your door, then you know that you are his next victim. Sometimes you say it's not my business, it's not my business. But when you become the next victim, then you know that quietness you kept will have actually stopped something from happening. So the first direction is that preserve the weak among you. Preserve the vulnerable. Speak for them when no one has someone to speak for them. Let your position not be for victimization, then let it be a servant. Number 2, salt as a flavoring agent or seasoning element. When you put salt in the right proportion, it has taste in food. You too, as a Christian, you are supposed to add taste to the people you meet. Our image is that of Jonathan. Jonathan, the son of Saul. He was a source of flavor and season to his friend David. Even when problem arose, even when the king was after him, Saul was after David, Jonathan stood by him, and David looked upon Jonathan for comfort. Ask yourself, in the friendship you keep, in the community you belong, in the society where you belong, are you a source of flavor, spice, or you are a source of decay and condemnation? What do you bring? You know, I told them the first one, what men said that there is difference between staying together and living together. Staying together and living together. It sounds almost same. Let me tell you, staying together means that we are just here. No interaction, no communication, no compassion, no nothing. We just come, we gather, we do what we are doing, and we go. But living together means that we become like tiny organisms that interact with each other, that depend on each other, that make sacrifices for each other. So many marriages, so many families, they are only staying together, they are not living together. Many households, they are just there. Some answer brother, is my brother, nothing. Is my sister, nothing. She's my wife, my uncle. But there is no persistent communication. There is no sacrifice. There is no flavor you are bringing, no spice you are adding to the relationship. We have come today to be like Jonathan, to become in a world where relationship has become transactional. We are to become conventional. We are to bring our lives around the people that we know, our co-workers, neighbors. Let us be source of flavor. When they see you, let their joy lighten up. Not when they see you, they become sad. Don't be a father that when your children hear that you are coming, they begin to run away. You are not being spiteful to them. Don't be a child that whenever your father remembers you, his heart skips. You must be source of seasoning that this friendship may continue to blossom. Number 3, you must be a purifying agent. There are 2 types of people that exist in every society. We have the purifiers and the polluters. The purifiers and the polluters. The work of the polluters are to spoil. Anything you give them, that thing will spoil. Anything you just carry and give them. Carry house, give them before you come back the house upside down. Keep them in an organization, put them there before you know they will scatter, they will blame. They don't have to blame people, they are never at fault. Polluters never see their fault. They will say it's so person, it's the person who was there before, it's the past administrator, it's the past parish, it's the past leader, they are the cause. For years, imagine somebody you get into an office, you spend 2 years, 3 years, you are blaming the person that was there before you. What have you brought? Those are the spirits of polluters. But purifiers, no matter how little you give them something, they harness it, they organize it, and they make them beautiful. Women are natural purifiers because they make a house become a home, they make a spice, they make ignorance become food, they make anger become frustration. This is what God has given them. They are natural purifiers. So we are born to become purifiers, and in becoming your hand. And immediately he found himself Jesus. And he said, I have sinned. I have sinned. Imagine if Nathan kept quiet. Imagine if Nathan was not a purifier. His action of purification brought salvation and redemption to him. Immediately he said that, taking acknowledge his sin. Even among your friends, you must have people that will look to your face and tell you, sir, man, sorry. With due respect, Nigeria, they say whenever you hear with due respect, just know that the next thing that will come after it has no respect. You have to have people that will look to you and say, sir, man, with due respect, this thing you did know, it doesn't know. These are people that purifies. And as a Christian, we are called to be purificators. We are called to take good with humility, not with arrogance. We are called to speak against injustice, not with the arrogance that makes us look foolish, but with the simplicity that gives value to our words. This is what we are called to become purifiers. When you have this element, then it means that the saltiness in you is still active. But when anyone is losing, I tell you, my dear friend, today you have to rise up and restore your salty value. The second element that Jesus used in our gospel reading today is that of light. He says that you are the light of the world. And I tell you, be the light of the world, that your light will shine. If you want to understand the concept, we'll take it from our first thing, Isaiah 58, verse 7 and 8. Please be there and read it and sing it together. Our first reading of Isaiah 58 from verse 7 to 8. Isaiah 58, 7 to 8. Is it not to share your bread with the hungry, to bring the poor and the homeless into your house, to clothe the naked when you see him, and to not ignore your own flesh and blood? Verse 8. Then your light will appear like the dawn, and your report will become quick. Your righteousness will go before you, and the Lord's glory will be your light. What does it take to make your light shine? What it takes, please go back to verse 7. What it takes to make your light shine is to feed the hungry, is to put smile. Verse 7, go back to verse 7. What it takes your light to shine is to share your bread with the hungry. When you feed them, it doesn't keep you hungry, because the smile you transfer does not make you sad, except you are a sadist. If not, the smile you create should naturally make everyone joyful. To bring the poor and the homeless into your house, sometimes open your door. There is certain liberation that comes from extension of friendship. Last 2 weeks, the priest who had been kidnapped in Kaduna. On this particular day, he felt a little bit bored. He called his brother priest, walking not too far from him. His own brother, and he said, "Are you around?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, I'm wrong." He asked his cook to kill chicken, prepare it, and he carried the chicken and went to that his friend's place. When he got there, not up to an hour or so, the kidnappers came to his house. They ransacked, scattered everything, but he was not there. What saved him? What saved him was that he extended friendship. The informant had told the kidnappers that he's around and he just killed the chicken, so he wanted to have celebration in the house, so that they should come, not knowing that he was taking the celebration elsewhere to his friend. That was a sin. Sometimes, when you want to light the light of others, it only keeps your own bright and makes the whole world illuminated. So what makes your righteousness fair? It's not the Bible you carry your armpits. What makes your righteousness established? It's not how solid you walk with your head majestic looking up, or the way you take your steps each come. What makes your righteousness fair is the impact you create around those that you meet. That is the two litmus tests of righteousness. The second part of the light is be in a community, living in a community, being part of a community. You know, some of us are transiting members. You just come, there is no impact, you don't belong anywhere. You just come and you go, and you say you are a member of the Holy Family Church. The true measure of your value is your ability war. Joseph was thrown into the prison dungeon, which you will find out later in the text. And then there were two men that were closely with the king. One is a cupbearer of the king, just like the other servants are, the cupbearers of the king. The other one is a baker. They anointed the king, and the king demoted them and sent them to go and take charge of the prisoners. That was where they met with Joseph. Now here it is. They both slept and woke up, and both of them had terrible dreams. They all woke up, their faces were swollen. Anger was written in their face. Joseph, who was just a prisoner, who would have just minded his business, there's some of you want to mind your business. Who would have cared how the faces of this men are? There's some of you who don't care because as long as it's not touching, it's none of your business. Joseph approached them and said to them, why are your faces like this? What is the problem? And they said, we had terrible dream. The worst is that we cannot even understand the story of the beginning of this thing. And Joseph said, and they said, we need someone that will interpret this thing. Joseph said to them, indeed, three interpretations come from the Lord. But I did not need telling the dream, let me see how we hear. They told Joseph the dream. Joseph now said to the cupbearer, let me tell you the meaning of your dream. It means that in 3 days, your head will rise. Something is that the Lord, your Pharaoh, will restore you back. You will be restored back to your throne. And then you will hold the cup again as you used to hold it. When you were restored, please do not forget. That's what Joseph said to the cup. Then the baker also gave his own story, his own dream. And Joseph said, this is what your dream means. That in 3 days, your head will raise, but in this case, they will kill you. There's no restoration for that. It was sad. Just immediately after that 3 days, the king had his own party. And at the party, the king restored the cupbearer and gave him his cup and said, come back to your state. And to the baker, his head was chopped. Was killed. Move to chapter 41. Move from the middle of the verse. Joseph, sorry, Pharaoh now had his own dream. His own dream was miserable, he could not understand. He summoned all the magicians. Nobody could interpret the dream. When morning came, he was troubled, so he summoned all the magicians of Egypt and all these wise men. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but no one could interpret them for him. Move to the next verse. We're going to read through all this. Then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, today I remember my fraud because he had not mentioned him since. Pharaoh had been angry with his servants, and he put me and the chief baker in the custody of the captain of the guard. Move to the next verse. He and I had dreams on the same night, each dream at his own meaning. Move. Now in young Hebrew, this is Joseph, a slave of the captain of the guards, was with us there. We told him our dreams, he interpreted our dreams for us, and each had his own. It turned out just the way he interpreted them to us. I was restored to my position, and the other one was hanged. Hear what Pharaoh will say in verse 14. Then Pharaoh sent for Joseph, yes, and they quickly brought him from the dungeon. From the dungeon. What it means was that while Joseph was in the dungeon, his light was shining. His light so shone forth that he interpreted the dream of his children. When he interpreted their dreams, you know what happened? They immediately brought him favor. The interpretation brought him favor. The interpretation brought him from dungeon. They shaved him, they put on a cloth on him, and brought him. This man would have remained here and said, it's none of my business. But he said, no, I have a light in me. And this light is only meaningful when I share it with others. Because he shared it, he has been remembered. Go to verse 44. I want to hear you, I want to tell you what happened to Joseph. Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, but without your permission, this is what he said to Joseph. Without your permission, no one will ever to raise his hand or foot in all of Egypt, because he interpreted it. Go to the next verse. And Joseph was given a new name. Pharaoh gave Joseph the name Saphaniah. He made it a God, and he said, from his hand, come and go. Because of that interpretation, his name was changed. No longer a slave from him, but he was given Saphaniah. Even from him shall come the nation. Let your light shine. Don't just hold yourself down and say it's none of my business. Joseph probably wouldn't have gotten to where he had gotten to if he had kept to himself. If he had refused to participate, even in the dungeon in the prison, he created a home and interacted with those who were there. Today you are called, my dear friends, that let your light shine. Your light will shine when you belong to the community where you are found. Your light will shine when you participate with the people who are around you. Your light will shine when you leave your comfort zone and say, I want to belong to this society. I want to. You may not like the society what they are doing, but they don't want change only comes from within. Only criticism comes from outside. So if you remain outside, you're only criticizing. When you want to effect change, come in. You never know that group and make it change. Today, let our mantra be, I will be salty again, and my light will shine. Let that be what we will repeat as the week goes. I will be salty again, and my light will shine. May God help us all that our saltiness will be restored and will become again the light of the world through Christ our Lord.